Okay, so it says I'm live, and the fun and joy. So this, I have a hard stop at 7:30, and I am on here for one real personal reason, and it's because it's June 11th. Um, I don't have anything on in the background sound wise because if any of my tribe goes live on the East Coast, I will probably hit play on the Facebook. So we will see if that happens. I'm trying not to miss any of them. I will miss whatever happens between 8 and 9:30 today, but otherwise, I don't plan on missing any feeds from the East Coast. So this is a real quick sketch I did earlier. I have definitely have a bunch of Patrick Nagel coming out of me. When I was in my 20s, one of my best friends was a woman I worked with for a neurosurgeon. We worked for a neurosurgeon. Anyway, she had some Patrick Nagel art on her wall. That was how I learned who he was. And so I had this image of a couple kissing with their lips like this. And I went and I got to watch an artist today that I plan on following in addition to... Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, you know what? How about I just start with one that's already sharpened? So, I am just literally so happy to be on this whole journey because today I got it in my head to see who was online live on Twitch. I was in the middle of a work project and a spreadsheet, and I needed something in the background that would keep me motivated. And I have been also watching the Mobile Live Manager. Okay. All right. So that's an example of a notification I might get while I'm doing this, saying that someone is live on Facebook from the East Coast. And if that happens, I will hit play. So anyway, so I... let me try to get this a little closer. Where was I at? Oh, here we go. So anyway, there's a whole weekend marathon thing going on Twitch of Bob Ross, and I just fucking love him. I swear to God. Oh my God, I love everything about what he does. I love the things he says. I love the encouraging way he talks. He's so mellow. So I was watching him, and I was watching him after I found the other guy. So I go on to Twitch to see who's live, and there's an artist on there in the middle of an oil painting. And for some of you know, I'm doing my first oil painting. I actually put it to rest because I kept feeling like I was making it too dark, and I never worked with oil before. So it was a combination of a lot of things. So I put it away, and I'm going to go back to it now that I mean, trust me, I only watched one feed of this man doing an oil painting, so it does not make me an expert by any stretch of any imagination. And so, but yeah, I have some, I have some money earmarked for my next payday so that I can take some of his courses. He's a man who drew for Disney, and he directed Brother Bear. And when I have time later, I'll put his links in on my page and stuff. I shared his feed to my page earlier today. So if you're interested, his name's eluding me right now. And yes, that's the Dory fish in me. I don't always remember everyone's names. So anyway, so I follow him. I found him. I'm watching him. He gets done with his feed. He gets done with his broadcast, and I go off, or he goes off, and I'm like, I like that. Okay, that fucking sucks. The only thing that's really annoying me about you know, I better be able to open that sharpener and get whatever the fuck is stuck in there out, because that's why I had to buy a brand new sharpener, because my little red guy that I've had for ages, the one time I go to my charcoal pencils and do charcoal stuff, that they break in there. And this is one of those things again where, like, I've talked a few times about how I'm the cheap artist. I love today. Bob Ross is like he said something about lazy man painters. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Lazy man painting, and I fucking love that. I love that expression when he said it, because it made me think of some of, not necessarily some of like laziness necessarily. I try not to be lazy, but I do know that some of my technique is because I'm lazy. And it was funny. It was funny hearing Bob Ross say that today, because for example, I'm going to do this piece and I'm penciling it in charcoal rather than regular pencil, because I've been liking some of the stuff that happens with the photos I take before I do any inking. And I used to only work in charcoals. Now these charcoals are pencils, but I used to only use actual charcoal, like the sticks, and I have a set of those, and I might actually get those out and do this with that as opposed to markers. I was thinking about that. Just leaving it in that medium, because I like that. I like switching mediums. But as you can see, I'm doing this pattern over here in the corner because I'm not going to take the time to bother with his neck. Fuck it. I got no interest in spending a whole hell of a lot of time on the details of his neck, especially considering that this is going to be for the haiku series. It goes with one of the newer haikus that I wrote. And all of those pieces, I hadn't planned it, but they are going to end up being a themed kind of a thing. And what I mean by themed is that they're all going to be full color 8x10s. That's the size of the sketch paper I'm doing. And then they're all going to be like that in some way, shape, or form. And no, for the most part, no white on the pages. I don't know where that came from in my head, or where that I didn't plan it originally that way. It just came out that way. As I was going through the pieces, I kind of saw this pattern of consistency with that. And that's how I'm going to leave it for the book. And so again, I mostly came on here, even though I have plans and even though I have somewhere to be at 8 o'clock. I came on here for my own personal reasons. Let me see. I want to be able to be comfortable, but still let you guys see what I'm doing. So what's cool about this is that because of the way I'm doing the pieces, and it's again like bringing me back to Bob Ross's comment about lazy painting. Some of what I get to do with these pieces is I don't have to be so detailed. For these ones I'm doing for the haikus, I'm going to get them out of the way. I'm going to do volume 1, and then I'm going to resume my poetry collection that I was illustrating. And those are going to be definitely a little whatever. They're going to be whatever they're going to be, to be honest with you. Whatever comes out of me when that time comes, when I start doing the rest of that piece again, those pieces for that book will be whatever that comes out of me then. I am done allowing any external stuff to decide anything for me. Whether those external things are my own and my own thoughts or my insecurities, whatever it is, I'm done. I'm done with it. And so I don't want to give this guy long hair, but I am the girl that will tell most men to stop listening to society tell them that they have to have their hair short. I don't know who keeps telling guys that, but y'all need to just shut the fuck up and let a man do what he wants with his hair. Let him have it however he sees fit. That's my belief. You do you, boo. Leave the men alone. None of us as women, and that my boss and I, it's so funny, my boss and I actually had this conversation. None of us as women would think it acceptable for our employer to come up to us and tell us that we need to wear a certain kind of dress or that we need to have our hair a certain kind of way. And that's all good. That's all fine and dandy, that feminism and all this other stuff in society has gotten us to a place where it makes that shit in the workplace not okay. But why doesn't it occur to people to provide men the exact same courtesy? Men should not be told how to wear their fucking hair. Now, I know there's some safety jobs out there, like, you know, my godson is an underwater, he went to a school for underwater welding. He has no choice but to shave and not have a beard because he has to be able to breathe. That I get. I can that I'm okay with. But if there is no reason, legit reason for a man to safely, like, if his safety doesn't have anything to do with it, then leave him the fuck alone about his hair. Or his facial hair. And, you know, it's funny. I said, okay, it's going to make me cry that I can't. Oh, wait. Fuck. Son of a bitch. Yes, I'm sharpening online because these fucking things suck. And now I'm going to really get annoyed because if I can't finish this because of the stupid sharpener, I'm going to be really pissed off. So I like the one I was using. I wanted that one, but oh well. I'm going to have to try to make something else work. So, no. I don't do soapbox politics talk stuff, but there are a few topics that will probably get me more heated than other ones. And a man, the inequality of the bullshit that we have in our society about men and their hair and their facial hair is one of them. That's one of them that I am that girl. I'm on the side of the let the men do what the fuck they want with their hair. Leave them alone. In my stand-up comedy, I have a thing about, and I know it probably pisses off people. Some of my comedy makes people straight up unfriend me, which is fine. I know it's a good joke if I get unfriended by it. But one of them is like, if you're a woman and you tell a man to shave, you might want to just go become a lesbian. Leave the men alone. I know. I can be mean. I can be mean. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's kind of like, you know, I don't know. It sounds sexist. It is sexist. Whatever. Seriously though, leave them alone. If you don't like beards, yeah, maybe you aren't straight. It's just me. I know. I'm like all over the place. I like this guy. The guy so today when I was watching this artist with his oil painting, he had the photo of the woman he was painting in front of him. And it was really cool because I got to see how he took a photo of this person and he was using it as a point of reference. And while we were online, someone on Twitch asked him if he uses points of reference for his pieces mostly, or if he ever does any of his work without it. And he's like, well, when he does those really big, large oil canvas paintings, he's like, I almost always have a point of reference. And that was really cool because sometimes I question the use of a point of reference for myself for some reason. Maybe it's my own insecurities or my own thoughts about, you know, not wanting to use other people's images, even a photo. And, you know, and I want to be original. But it was really cool to see you know, someone using a point of reference to create an oil painting, especially someone with so much talent and so much experience. And the fact that oh my God, Brother Bear is actually one of my favorite movies ever. And I can't wait to tell my sons that I came across this man. And I don't know, you know, I might feel differently after I take a course or two of his, but I have my budgetary needs in order, and I know what I need when the time comes. I did something wrong there. I did something wrong here. Choo choo choo. And I know it's funny, like I don't really need to be super precise right here because I know I'm going to come in with seriously darker definitions of lines and separation of stuff. Because I have, okay, so this is actually not the first time I've done a piece similar to this. I actually have two other pieces that are very similar to the concept of this one. Fire and Ice is one of my pieces, and it is one of there's like 5 or 6 paintings of mine that all sold the same week. When I in the first week I ever showed anybody of my work, now granted they were bought by friends and they were bought by people that knew me, but they literally gobbled them up. I had all these and they were mostly these super brand new ones that I had done. And those went super fast. And Fire and Ice was one of them. Fire and Ice was one of those ones that as soon as I posted it for sale, sold. And this is very similar. This is reminding me of that piece quite a bit. Fire and Ice was a depiction of me and an ex-boyfriend, and this one it totally feels very similar, but very, very different. This couple is younger. They are probably a little bit more youthful in some of the picture, especially that I used for reference, was definitely different than Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice I literally didn't use any point of reference at all. I didn't even use a picture of me and my ex-boyfriend. I just had him. I had him. He was my point of reference, and I knew his face like the back of, I knew his face like I know mine. There wasn't anything I didn't know about that man. So, and that's just kind of what happens with almost all my work. Especially the things I've done, and that's another reason why I wanted to come on today of all days. A lot of the work I've done since I started showing my work and letting people see it and being vulnerable, a lot of it has to do with the lovers in my life at the time, where things may have been with my kids, where things were with relationships, things of that nature. One of these days I was thinking about going through each piece and writing some kind of a story that would go with them, because there's literally a story behind every single one of those pieces, like Fire and Ice, for example. The reason I called it Fire and Ice was that he was a surfer, and I'm definitely a water person too. I'm a water bug. But the reason it was called Fire and Ice was that, until I actually have someone come along who can wake me up, I definitely can resemble ice, a tundra, a frozen, there's a lot of different terms for it. Prude is not an accurate one, but I definitely don't have one of those chemical things that drives me to be stupid when it comes to sex or when it comes to passion. I'm good. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to even. So the piece Fire and Ice was a depiction of a man coming along with the right kind of fire and the right kind of passion and the right kind of temperament that would bring it out. Basically take the ice and melt the ice, melt that exterior, that wall. That was a lot of the different things. Maybe I'll just have to come back to this video and listen to me talking about it, and I can write my little blurb from that. One of the cool, fun things I'm doing, in addition to this haiku series that I decided to do, thanks to Pops Van Zandt, is I've been recreating black drawn images of my past art for a coloring book, and I haven't done this the black and white thing yet for Fire and Ice. For Fire and Ice. I did some yesterday for some other pieces like Namaste. Namaste was another one that I did around that same period of time in my life, and it was another one that was of my ex-boyfriend. Nope. Okay. I'm like, is anybody on the East Coast live? Is Devin live? Let me go check. I have to check, because I want to watch what I can. I would, if I could have afforded it, I would be on the East Coast right now. So, instead, I get to celebrate my weekend here, doing whatever I do here. So yeah, I don't have to be specific with a lot of the detail with this because I am going to go back over this. I'm either going to use the markers or I might get my charcoals out and do the rest in charcoal since I sketched it in charcoal. Ooh, I like that. I feel like he has a mullet. Can't really tell, but maybe I'll just make it a solid black down there so it doesn't look like hair. But there's nothing wrong with a mullet. That's pretty funny. I was just on my soapbox about leaving men and their hair alone, and then I make a comment about mullets. I'm a mean girl. Mean. Sometimes I can be mean. Sometimes I can be. I'm not gonna lie. And it's funny, if I'm mean to a person, chances are they deserved it. Because I don't go out of my way to be mean to anybody. That's just not my nature. It doesn't occur to me to wake up and go, today I'm gonna be an asshole. It's usually a reactionary thing. Although I'm working on that. I'm working on not allowing the reaction. Not allowing anything to get me riled to that point where I'm reacting to someone being an asshole, as opposed to remaining calm and trying to remain sweet, be silent. What's the best answer for an asshole to deal with an asshole? The best answer is to not say anything at all. To just not even say anything to them. They probably hate that more than anything I could ever say back, anything I could ever try to speak back with, any kind of barb. No. No. It's actually way better to just not say anything at all. Just not say anything at all. And let them do their thing. Let them be whatever in their world of whatever. I don't have to play. I love that today. There's one of my mentors would talk about my life is my sandbox today. My life is my sandbox. And I get to choose who I allow to play in my sandbox with me. It's my choice. It's my sandbox. And if I allow someone to play in my sandbox and they pee in my sandbox and then I let them keep playing in the sandbox, that's also my fault. Yeah. No interest in any of that anymore. So yeah, I think that for now, I missed something. For the moment, I think I'm fairly done with putting pencil to this. Which way am I? Because I'm not going to make this some really fine detail thing. It's mostly just giving me the outline. See, that's called getting old. When your wrist just totally stops working and drops the pencil. Okay. So, can you see that? There we go. There's my piece. I know that I will come back to this and look at it again and figure out, so do I want to do charcoal to give it some color, or do I want to do marker? I know it's going to have color for sure because this is going in the haiku book. It goes with one of the new ones. Oh yeah, I printed it, since if anybody wanted to know. So this piece goes with this haiku. Kiss my heart softly with your delicious lips kiss while we plunge in deep. So that is the haiku that this goes with, that this will be in the volume with. It was actually, I just wrote that haiku this week. It wasn't part of the project I did last year. It was a new piece because I'm going to do more than just, I had like 8 haikus written or something, and I'm going to do 10 in the volume. And each volume will have 2 editions, because I'm going to do the full color, premium color setup with all the images and the artwork in whatever my final digital choices will be for it. And then I'm going to do a version of coloring pages in an edition too. So the entire same book will be in 2 editions. Each volume will have 2 editions. One where it'll be like the graphic color thing, and then the second one will be the coloring pages. And that's another reason why I'm not going to do anything really more with this right now, because I'm going to take some pictures of it. That's something I make sure to try to do now, is take pictures of everything during each phase, because some of the things that I'm learning with digital stuff, I like, some of it I don't, and that's fine. I'm going on I have a journey going on right now with me and my relationship with digital. And this artist I found today, the one that was doing oil painting, he actually illustrated for Disney, and so he has courses to teach people how to use Photoshop and stuff. And I'm not saying I'm going there. I'm not saying I'm going there, because that's money to spend on something that I don't think suits my way of doing stuff. But I did find someone who has the resource I have, or if I want, they're there, which is nice. That's nice to know. It's nice to know. I don't like what I did over here, so I'm going to. Where did I go? This is what I do. Haha, much better. I like that. Much better. Much better. Reminds me of Jason. Oh. Okay. So, I got plenty of time. I'm going to go through this since I'm in here. I said I was going to be done with this, but why not do some shading with while I'm on? I've got some time to kill, and I do want to at least get out one piece while I'm on, depending on timing, and do the outline for the other coloring book I'm doing, the one that has my artwork from years past. I released the color version of all of my art. It was a pictorial book of all of my, at that time, I had 100 or so pieces done. And that book is the one I'm working on right now to recreate as a coloring book. And I'm digging it, because I had told myself I wouldn't do it, didn't want to do it that way, or this way with the light box and retracing them, because of all the work. I was being super lazy. Super lazy. And I thought, I should be able to convert this on a computer. No. It's actually working out better to do them over, because like just one of the pieces I did last night, I'm doing different, like I'm adding some definition to things in a certain way. I love sometimes with this blue. So I have this blue sketch pencil thing under here, right? Well, when I shade, that if I leave that blue there, it actually creates an effect I like. It's weird. I know. That's just me. It's just me. As Bob Ross would say, do what makes you happy. Oh, I loved him today. When I was listening to him, this Twitch user who has his Bob Ross on a marathon for the whole weekend. Okay. It's like Twitch, Bob Ross at Twitch or whatever. So if you want to go find him, go find him. He's literally playing Bob Ross all weekend. And so Bob Ross is like, some of the things I heard him say today, he's like, it's whatever. he said it just like that. And I fucking died. I fucking died laughing so bad. I'm like, yes, Bob. That's it. That's right. It's whatever. He's like, it's whatever. And I just love that. I just loved it. And I just love how he's like, go to your happy place. Do what makes you happy. Or, oh yeah, there was this one, I think it was the first one I caught that was on. He was talking about, he goes, you see this canvas? This is yours. This is your canvas. He goes, for whatever time you're going to be here and spending time, this time with it, it's going to be whatever you want. It's yours. You own it. It's like, and I know some of this I'm paraphrasing, but oh my God, I needed to hear him say that today. I needed his words of encouragement that as the artist, as the painter, when I'm standing in front of one of my canvases or when I'm in front of a piece of my paper with a medium in my hand, this is my job. This is my world here. This is my world to create what I want to create, the way I want to create it. Nobody gets to tell me what to do. Nobody's the boss of me here. It's probably one of the reasons why I've never done any collaboration with other people. Maybe some of it's the fact that I've always been too locked up with my showing myself to people. That I'll own that. But the other part of me is working to my own schedule. I can't fucking work to someone else's schedule. If I want to do something, I want to do something, and I can't, especially if I've got to do it right now. When it came to me the other day to shift the haikus to a different thing and take them out of the poetry collection and put them in their own series, I just did it. I just did it. I grabbed a different folder. I labeled them differently. I put them in a different folder on my computer and set it up in a different way in my author stuff. And yeah, there you go. I didn't have to call anybody. I didn't have to have a discussion with anybody. And that's probably why I do some of the stuff the way I do it. And yeah, I have a hard time wrapping my head around having to deal with other people like that in that regard. Some of it's on purpose. Some of it is just my own whatever. And then a lot of it is trust issues. Not going to lie. I'm not only going to not lie, I'm also not going to apologize for it. Yeah, I got no interest in apologizing for being who I am. So that's just it. Oh wow, it's interesting the things that happen. One of the other things he was talking about today was letting the brush tell your story or do what it's gonna do, and I love that. And I'm almost like, did I get that from him? Like I remember, I don't think he was on when I can't remember. I'd have to look up the years that show was actually broadcast. I'm not sure I actually got to watch them when they were originally on. But I do know that at least two of them today, when I was watching him, I'm like, I have so watched this before. There was one that he did with these trees and a bunch of snow and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I have so totally seen this one. And then there was another one with some trees. Yeah. And I was like, oh. So anyway, I was like, I bet you that has a lot to do with where some of my stuff I do, or why I don't do stuff in a certain way, or why I don't care about doing stuff all perfect or whatever. It probably has a lot to do with Bob Ross. He was probably in the background somewhere in my head as a kid, or something, because a lot of what he was saying today, I'm like, hey, it's like he's speaking from my heart, man. It's like, where I must like, oh, maybe that's where, maybe that's where the hippie in me comes from. Comes from Bob Ross, So then I get to do what I almost always do. I don't always do this, but for some reason, women in their hair in my paintings, I have these intricate things I usually end up getting swept up into to do with their hair, which is no complaints. And I know that, I guess the only person I can really think of crediting for that is Gustav Klimt. Yeah. I would think that probably has a lot to do with it. She reminds me of Marissa Tomei. And I'm not sure why. Maybe the nose. It's definitely not her in the picture I used for reference, but so yeah. She kind of reminds me of Marissa. I love Marissa. Love. She's not dead, Dory. Choo choo. Something about this area here is bugging me, but I probably went too crazy on it. Probably too much detail or not enough. I don't know. Something. We'll figure it out. So, okay. So I'm going to leave this one be for the moment. And I'm going to bring this out. Okay. So this is the big old hunkin' manuscript printout of my my art book that has all my artwork in it. And these are all of the pieces that I intend to ink, trace, whatever you want to call it, to create the coloring book. And these are all my prints of my stuff. This one is called Angel. I haven't created her yet. I might actually blow this one up and print it bigger before I sketch it, or before I lightbox use it. The one since I had Fire and Ice on my mind, I wanted to find it and do that one during the same broadcast. That would be, there we go. That would be a good idea. So this is Fire and Ice. It's a black and white depiction of it. But this is the one that I did that this reminds me of. So this piece, this newer one. Nope. Nobody live. So this one that I'm doing, that I think I'm gonna, I'm just loving that. Okay. Anyway, it definitely reminds me of Fire and Ice. And so before I get started on that, some of these I showed the other night, but I'll just quickly throw them out there. That is Roar. This is, oh my God, I forget her name. My niece, Sarah, has the original. Medusa. I did this one last night. This is Namaste. Namaste is the very, very, very first art piece of mine that was bought. The original. These are the hands of the ex-boyfriend that I was with at the time that I did this painting. He was a surfer, and he would pray on his board in the middle of the wave before he would pop up and ride the wave. And he has great video footage of him doing exactly that with his GoPro and stuff. And it was, so this is actually a painting I did from a still shot from a video of him doing that. He would lay on his board, flat on his back, pray, and then pop up and ride the fucking wave. It blows my mind. And so this is Surrender. So then I did this one. I showed this the other day. So the other two I outlined last night for the coloring book, the newer pieces that I outlined. This is a butterfly I did. This is another one. One of my Pam has the original of this. And this is another of those original first pieces that sold. This is called Sun God. Sun God, another Jason inspired original. He's still around. Every once in a blue moon. Every once in a blue moon. I may talk to him. May or may not. It depends. I wouldn't necessarily call us friends, but whatever. He's a decent guy. He's a sweetheart, really, actually. One of the biggest challenges about doing this is, me and my own craziness, of course, my own levels of satisfaction, what I want to do versus what I can do. And technology, man, they don't make cords long enough, okay? So if any of you guys out there work in the world of IT on any level, if you make anything like that, you need to tell your bosses that we want 16-inch cords to everything. Like everything. Everything should be like a super long 20 million foot cord, okay? Enough with this bullshit of like 3 little 2-foot cords or 3 feet cords or whatever. Luckily, this light box actually has a really super long cord, which is cool. That was one of the best parts about it. It was one of the things I actually looked at when I was ordering it. So yeah, that came up for me. So we'll see how, usually when I'm doing this, I was doing these with my feet propped up and my back to the wall so that I could be comfortable. So we will see just how well this works for me to do it in this position. This is the first time I'm trying to do it this way. The other reason I was kind of doing it the other way was that sometimes to get some of the detail, even though there's a light behind this, I can't always see because my paintings are so many different colors. And in some of them, I use so many different colors or different strokes or different designs that I can't always see every little detail. And for some of them, I think, like I know, like this one, I think will be fine. I might not be able to do all of the detail right now with you guys on here with me. But I can always add the other stuff later. I can always go in here and do more of what's underneath there, all that intricate stuff. I can always do that later. The one other thing that this whole thing was teaching me was how annoying some of this was to, what was I going to say? I forgot. I lost my train of thought. The thought is gone. It is officially gone. Woo! Yay! I love it when I do that. I can successfully go a whole entire way. Yay! And there was a part of me that thought that, since I've been playing on these softwares and using some of the softwares, I should just try to do it again. I should just go back to it and revisit the idea of converting these using software, where I can take out the color and make them like this, that kind of thing. And I'm like, never mind. Because as I was saying earlier, I was learning that some of what I've done, like when I did the eyes on Roar, I totally changed some of the stuff around her eyes. So what's cool about it doing it this way is that the images, the pieces in the coloring book are not going to be exact to the originals. And I love that. I love that they're not going to be exact. Because I just, there's, one of those things about, like, someone asked me to go to one of those paint things where it's like a paint class where you paint with people. Well, everybody paints the same thing. I don't see the point in that. I guess if you just do it for therapy or you're just doing it for your own enjoyment, for your own whatever, I guess that's cool. And I got no judgments, but it's not it doesn't suit what I was like, you know what? I can see doing it though, because after today, when I was watching that guy do that oil painting, I definitely want to do some of those. I want to do some of those that are, I think for me, I think what I would want is to find the ones that are more instructional, as opposed to for fun. Like I'm gonna want it to be like a class. I could do that. I'm a student. I am so studious. I love learning. Yeah, that. Ooh, that's. I like what I did, but I can't see it, so I'm gonna wait for that. Okay, let me go to a lighter area. I thought about, what I probably should do is I should probably at least try to manipulate some of these super darker pieces to a point where even if I do use the light box, I can at least see better of what's underneath there. That would probably be a good idea. Now, I had forgotten about this, but her hair actually reminds me a lot of what I did in the piece I just did for one of the haikus, where I used a lot of waves. Because as I said, she is ice. He's fire. She's ice. The colors in the original painting, she is all her colors are blues and lavenders and cool colors. He is reds and oranges and all these other things. Very, very contrasted colors palettes between the couple in the painting. And yeah. So anyway, but these ones I'm doing right now that you're watching me do, they're not for me. These will be for other people. And I already have at least 3 people for sure who have said, you please make sure I know how to get it when you're done with it. And I'm like, you bet. Because there's quite a lot of people out there that enjoy coloring for a lot of reasons, therapeutic reasons, you name it. This has actually kind of been therapeutic for me, just even sitting here and doing this part. Even though I'm not coloring, it's still, it suits me. It suits me to do this. And I was finding that with some of the stuff I was doing with the other pieces for the haikus and stuff, that coming to these later in the night and doing them after I've been working on whatever else I've been working on, they're very much, what the hell did I do? Oh, here we go. I'm like, what is going on with her eye? I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, don't ask me rhyme or reason as to why something is a certain way in some of my paintings. I'm like, I don't know. That's probably just what came out of me when I did it. And like, why'd you go like this or why'd you go like that? Like, I don't know. Like last night, my brother and some of his friends came on and joined me, and I ended up being online for an hour longer than I expected. And one of the girls asked me why I picked a certain, she asked me how I pick what colors I pick for what I pick. And I go, and I literally had just picked up one of the markers. And I said, and I laughed and I said, that was the closest color. Like literally that is how little of a plan some of this actually has, It's like, what? No, seriously, like I picked up that particular color at that particular moment to do that particular thing the particular way I was doing it when she asked that question, because it was the closest color to me. And that's what happened. So that explains like some of the times when people ask me, well, what's your medium? All. Well, what all? I mean, just say all, and you'll have me figured out. Just say all. I don't want to be pigeonholed. I don't want to have to only do it one way. I don't want to have to follow rules. I am the rebel, you know. Don't you know? I am the rebel. Okay, so what I got going on down here is her neck turns into like this wavy ocean water thing down here. So parts of her in the original, I remember, my brain is coming back. So parts of her depict ice, and some of her depicts. Oops, I do that from time to time. Turn it off. Some of her depicts water, but it's basically all these different things that came to me when I'm thinking about things that are ice or cold or whatever. So, yeah, there's that. Yay. And now I know the original has a really strong flame. His hair is like on fire, basically. And I'm going to probably wait to do some of that detail when I can hold the light board more closer to me and get a different visual, closer visual for me than what I've got going on right here, because I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it. Let me see. Okay, so this is pretty good for now with what I can do with the light the way that it is in front of me instead of up close. And I will probably finish this one later when I can lay back and turn all the other lights off. That's another thing that helps, is that when I have all the other lights off, like late at night, I usually, like I said, I usually do this later after I've been working on other things. And then I will turn off all the other lights, and then really the only light is what's coming from behind it, and then I can see way better. And what I end up with is not exact. It's not perfect. It's not the original, which is, again, part of what I love about this process. Part of what I love about having chosen to do this is that right there. The fact that they will not be exact. And that is perfectly fine by me. And I've been doing other things. Sometimes I'm adding, I did one where I added a border, it didn't have a border, and another one where I took the border out, and because it had a border or whatever, and I took it out. And I've just been doing that too. As things have come across me, as this whole process is, as I've been going through it. So like for this, his hair can just continue up, so can hers. Of course, when I get to the part where I'm putting these or prepping these for the book, I'm going to use an 8x10 size because it's a coloring book. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's how they're going to be. He's so pretty. Ah! Yes! We hit open. Ah! Okay. I'm super excited. I'm gonna... That might make someone crazy annoyed. Ah! Con.
It's worked really hard to do all before ours. Wake up, wake up! I need everybody to do me a favor. My soul's getting tired, and I need a little extra energy. So when I say sleep, y'all say fuck no for the kids say no. Okay? All right, cool. Ready? Okay. Sleep.
Fuck no.
Sleep.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Oh, the feed froze. East Coast, West Coast. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this one alone for the moment because I feel like I'm all over the place with it. And it's about done. 6:30. Okay. Whew. So the other thing I have been doing with some of them is doing exactly that, getting it to this point, and then knowing what the rest of the piece is. I'm not saying I'm gonna do this whole thing, but I am going to do some of it. I'm just gonna come in here and do some stuff. So that, you know. Okay. Live feeds don't always work. Reception. I was having some of that same difficulty. So his hair, how's that go? Oh yeah. There's this, and this goes down and around, and then up, 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 up. It's so funny, like I could see what I had done with the ear, kind of, sort of, but not really. That'll work. Doesn't have to be exact, Dory. That's my favorite part of this whole process for myself, is reminding myself that none of this has to be perfect. Kind of the whole point. And some of the benefit of wrapping my head around doing these again, or doing these like this, was getting to go, oh yeah, I can do something totally different. They don't have to be exact. And I was thinking, in the painting, it's just a bunch of lazy flame looking things, and I guess that's kind of what I'm gonna do here. Something similar. Lazy. Laser. I mean, he is fire, after all. And I'll probably need to put their names on the pages somehow in the book, so people know what they're called. Oh, yes. Sometimes I do something I like, and sometimes I do something I don't like, and I get very annoyed. I'm like, oh, great. I don't like that. Oh, that's one thing. I haven't had to, start over on any of these yet. But I can feel it coming. I can feel like I can just see there's going to be this moment where I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't like it. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do that over or differently. You know, like I can feel it. I can feel it. Hasn't happened yet, but you know, wouldn't shock me if it does. So for example, like she has a whole different thing going on with her hair in the painting, and I'm just going to add a bunch of different waves to her. I mean, you know, it's still fire and ice. It's still red and blue, basically. And I'm not the one coloring these. This is not for me. I'm just doing the outlines. I kind of like it. 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 Ooh. It's like, how do I get a good view of it? It's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So I am right at the hour, and I have done 2. I don't think I have anything else that I want to do tonight. So I am probably going to sign off because I think I'm done. I think I'm done for tonight. I want to save some things for myself to do. I will definitely be probably, this is another one that I will probably get my pencil. I'm going to figure out what the heck's going on with my, oh, I know what I could do. Sometimes this works. Nope. If I can't open this bad boy, I'm going to be irritated. But there's something stuck in there from my charcoals, and it's pissing me the fuck off. That's the other thing I'm going to do. I sketched this with the charcoals, not pencil, which is fine. But I'm going to come back through here with some regular pencil and maybe even some charcoal. And I might leave this one in black and white. They all tell me something different. This one, for some reason, maybe it's because of the charcoals or whatever I was doing with the charcoals. But I definitely can feel that. I can feel that coming on. But then again, I also said the same thing about Sweet Girl. I did her in full on black pencil and pen and ink and stuff, and had no intention of putting color to her, and then ended up adding color because that's just what needed to happen. And I liked it so much that I couldn't leave her the way she was. I liked her. I do know that I'm going to take a picture of this before I put any kind of ink or anything on it. That's for sure. I'm going to figure out why my pencil sharpener is jammed. One of the stupid charcoals broke off in there. It's why I had to buy a new pencil sharpener. So hopefully, I can figure out what's wrong with this fucking thing. Pissing me off. Me and pencil sharpeners, I swear, they just don't make them. Even the I don't know. Like I can't find a single decent fucking pencil sharpener on this planet anymore. Everything's made so fucking cheap. You know, it's so annoying. I get it. And this is one of those moments where I hear myself sounding like I'm contradicting myself, because I am that girl that will use cheap products to achieve the art she wants. And yet there's things like, you could totally snow me and get lots of money out of me for a really decent, really, really rad pencil sharpener. One that doesn't ever do that. That would be cool. I could easily fall for that. I'd be a sucker for that. All right, you guys, I am out of here. I am done. Oh, thanks for being here.